Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel discussing the Miami Dolphins' third win in a row, ladies and gentlemen. This one, the Dolphins beating the New England Patriots 35-14. Tremendous, 34-15. Tremendous performance from the offense. Tremendous performance from Tua. Jalen Waddle finally came alive. I mean, so many people that you were kind of either wanting to continue to see improve and people that you want to kind of to get into the thick of things. I mean, this was an all-around great performance, man. The defense, the offense, and just the little things that we talk about on the preview stream. My keys to victory. I mean, all three of them ended up happening. And quite frankly, I think that was the key to victory. The three things that I mentioned. I mentioned that the Miami Dolphins, number one, had to run the football. They absolutely did that. I mentioned that they had to get pressure on Drake May. 4 sacks in total today. Chop Robinson was everywhere, also getting pressure. It's not only about sacks, it's about getting pressure. I mentioned that Drake May was going to throw a couple turnovers, and he damn sure did. And at the end of the day, dominating time of possession, the Dolphins yet again with more time of possession than their opposing team. How about Anthony Weaver, by the way, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, he continues to have this defense just turn it up another freaking level. I mean, yet another performance now with giving up less than 7 total points in the first half to the opposing team. 5 out of those 7 games, by the way. 7 games in a row. 5 out of those 7 games under 7 points. So 6 points or less in 5 out of those 7. And 7 total with just 7 points at a maximum in the first half. That is impressive stuff from Anthony Weaver. He's gotten the most out of his players. I mean, huge stock up for Jalen Ramsey. How about Chop Robinson, as I mentioned? I mean, he was everywhere, flying everywhere. We talk about the leadership from Calais Campbell. He continues to do big things. Zach Sealer continues to do big things. And it's just awesome to see. I mean, Dolphins fans like myself have been waiting to see a performance like these last couple performances that we've been seeing from the Dolphins. Like, is this the real Miami Dolphins? Is this the team that we've been just dying to see? Granted, I know we're playing a New England Patriots team, but nonetheless, I mean, you lose this game, people are talking smack. So you got to control what's in front of you and control what's on the schedule. Tua was absolutely terrific today, by the way. You cannot tell me otherwise. I mean, the dude is playing. It's like men against boys out there. I mean, yet again, having a defender fall for a hard count. That's 2 weeks in a row where Tua is literally killing you with his IQ. I mean, it's awesome to see using the hard count to his advantage, not really killing you with the deep balls. We talk about all these teams taking away the deep passes to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So what is Tua doing? He's hitting them on crossers. He's hitting them on drag routes. He's hitting them on short, medium range yards that these guys can run after catch. Jonnu Smith also, I mean, he's probably been the guy that's taken the most advantage of that. Hey, that deep is covered. You got Jonnu Smith, who's able to run those mid-range routes, those drag routes, and then he's able to eat. And he's been absolutely incredible since Tua's return. I mean, Jonnu Smith, I mean, hats off to him. Jalen Waddle woke the hell up. 8 catches for 144 yards and a touchdown. Absolutely love to see that. I mentioned him to be Jalen Waddle was a guy that I mentioned on my previous stream. I said, I want to see Jalen Waddle get going. This is a guy that I feel like is the X factor of the season. I mean, you think about him getting going, it just opens up so many things for the offense, and that's what you saw on display today. I mean, awesome. So many guys get flowers, but let's talk about the stats. Let's dive into the stats here. As we mentioned, this is on ESPN.com. So the Dolphins on third down, getting four third down conversions. Didn't have to go for it on fourth down today, ladies and gentlemen, which is a good sign. 373 total yards for the Dolphins as opposed to the New England Patriots, 268. 308 passing yards, which you absolutely love to see. Only 2 sacks given up. New England won the rushing battle, which is, I expected them to do that. I still wanted the Dolphins to run the ball more, as I mentioned, which they did. Obviously, 24 attempts to 21. The penalties, yet again, I said also on the preview, I said the New England Patriots are a team that just racks up a bunch of penalties. They're an undisciplined football team, and that was on display also today. The Dolphins, however, another impressive game where early in the season, the Dolphins were shooting themselves in the foot with these penalties. Now they're able to do different things. The penalty number is trimming down. You're seeing a lot of these games with the 2, 3, and 4, not too many instances where the Dolphins are picking up penalties, which you love to see. I mean, these are things that are great habits to build off. I've been talking about the habits that the Dolphins want to build if they want to be a team that's going to make a deep run in the playoffs, let alone get to the playoffs. 3 penalties is that formula. All right. 3 penalties is that formula. Dolphins lost a fumble, obviously, because of Skylar Thompson, which we'll talk about later on. No interceptions thrown. Obviously, you like to see that. So the starting unit, not turning the ball over. That's great stuff. Let's take a look at the box score. Tua finishes with 317 yards, 4 touchdowns. Like I mentioned, it's just high IQ play, man. Tua was reading the defense, taking what the defense was giving them. I mean, hitting guys like Achane, Jonnu Smith, Jalen Waddle, not really taking these shots that weren't necessary out there. I thought Tua played a complete game, probably one of his best games of the season. As I mentioned before, every single week, it seems like he's kind of taking a level up, and you're kind of seeing a different Tua out there. You're seeing a Tua, the Tua that I'm seeing is a guy that understands his body, understands the situation, understands the position that the Miami Dolphins are in at this very moment, how critical it is to be able to play smart football, protect the football, protect himself. And the best chance for the Dolphins to play their best brand of football is with Tua out there on the field. And that's kind of the mindset you're seeing. He's just doing so many of the little things that I mentioned. Those little things go a long way. And quite frankly, that's why the Miami Dolphins are sitting here with a 3-game winning streak and kind of back in the thick of things. I mean, this Dolphins team is 5-6 in a season where you asked me a couple weeks ago, it looks like the Dolphins were doomed, but here they are. Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, fighting for the playoffs. And, if the Dolphins control what they can control and continue to just, stick to these habits that they've displayed, this Dolphins team is a team that I guarantee you nobody wants to face. Even the number 1 seed. It doesn't matter. If the Dolphins get in as an 8th seed, it doesn't matter. Sorry, a 7th seed. If they get in as a 7th seed, not NBA, 7th seed, nobody wants to play this Dolphins team. Imagine playing this Dolphins team in round 1. Come on, man. So Jalen Wright got involved. Devon Achane got involved as well. As I mentioned earlier, Waddle, 144 yards and a touchdown. I mean, finally, Waddle needed a game like that. Jonnu Smith with the 9 catches for 87 yards, a touchdown yet again. He continues to just be such an X factor for this Dolphins offense. Tyreek Hill, 5 catches for 48. You're starting to see Tyreek's numbers kind of stay within that 48, 40, 50, 60-yard range. Remember, he's dealing with a bad wrist injury, all right? And that has been public. He has voiced that himself. He should have had surgery, but he's trying to play there for the team, and he's doing everything he can. Devon Achane also catching out of the backfield for 24 yards. And as I mentioned earlier, Skylar Thompson came into the game where the Dolphins kind of put this game away in the 4th quarter. They decided to have Skylar come in and, Achane get some time off. Tua get some time off, kind of rest, and then we fumble it like 2 plays into that possession. The Patriots then scored on the other end. Tua had to come back into the game, and it just shows you kind of shake your head at that for a little bit there. You start to worry, like, the Dolphins aren't going to do some BS, are they? But it's like, damn, you can't even rest your starting quarterback for a quarter. All right, we already know you can't rest the starting quarterback for a game. I mean, we've seen how that story played out throughout the beginning of the season. But you can't even rest Tua for 1 quarter without the Dolphins holding it together, man. It's just crazy. It's literally bad luck. Anybody out there under center besides Tua, all hell is going to break loose. It's like, God damn, you really can't win here. You really can't win. As I mentioned on the defensive side of things, Jalen Ramsey continues to be awesome. Pass deflection, a sack, tackle for a loss, and he continues to be everywhere. As I mentioned, Chop Robinson with a sack and a half. By the way, Chop Robinson's celebration is probably the best celebration in the NFL. I mean, goddamn, that is like so freaking awesome. You get fired up every time you see that celebration. It's freaking awesome, man. So big shout out to him and Zach Sealer, as I mentioned, 2 tackles for a loss and a sack today. It's great to see this Dolphins team put together yet another performance. They're stacking performances and building just great habits, as I mentioned, and that's a recipe that you're gonna need going forward. You are gonna need to just build off those things. All right. Next is a tough game. You got the Green Bay Packers, all right, on Thanksgiving night. You're most likely playing in a very cold weather because Thanksgiving in Wisconsin, I mean, there might be even snow, I'm hearing. That's a possibility. The Dolphins aren't known for a cold weather team. Remember the game against Kansas City in the playoffs. Could this be the time where the Dolphins kind of win a cold, primetime, tough opponent team against a tough opponent team? Will this be the time? They have a chance, ladies and gentlemen. It's crazy to say they don't have a chance. Absolutely not. They have a chance to win this football game. And, whether they get it done, I'll talk about it on my preview this coming week. So tune into that. Keep it locked in. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications on. Hit the like button, please. I appreciate the support as always. But the Dolphins winning this one, 34-15, controlling what you can control, guys. Winning the games in front of you, building good habits, dominating time of possession, playing high IQ football. This is the recipe of a winning team and a team that can make some noise throughout the later half of the season, guys. So let's see. 3 games in a row, 3 wins in a row, ladies and gentlemen. That's something to be excited about, Dolphin fans. We have a chance. We have a chance. Still a lot of season left as well. As I mentioned, keep an eye on those other teams that we're watching out for. All right, look at the standings. Keep an eye on those teams. Root against those teams. Those Chargers, those Bengals, those Colts, those Jets, even though they look done. But as I mentioned, awesome job for the Miami Dolphins. Great win. 3 wins in a row. Tua looked phenomenal. Again, shout out to Tua. Continues to just be that guy that the Dolphins desperately need. All the smack you see the fans talk, the Dolphins need Tua out there, and he delivered. Dolphins win this one, 35-14. I'll catch you guys for the preview show for the Dolphins against the Green Bay Packers. Take care, everyone. Fins up.